Voodoo here, and today we are here and we are talking about No Mover. Now, No Mover is a very favored playstyle for many people, going back to BFA, Legion, a very classic style of Demon Hunter, even though, movement was around then. But No Mover, this tier has honestly become much more viable. It is the best build in Mythic Plus, which you'll obviously see here, and it's also a very strong build in Raid that you actually play on one of the bosses in Mythic. So this build, this video, all that stuff, we're going to cover both No Mover for Raid and Mythic Plus, for both people trying to do their best damage in Mythic Plus, or for Sprocketmaster Lockenstock or whatever, or for people who just want to take it easy, chill, and not move. Either way, this video will cover rotations and talents and stuff like that. And if you want gear, check out some other stuff. But before we get to that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We are pushing for 15,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think we can make it, but if you want to help, make sure you subscribe. And with that, let's get on to it. All right, so here we are in game, and obviously the first thing you need to play No Mover is actually have No Mover talent. So before you hear is the single target No Mover build, and then we'll break down some talents and stuff. Clash tree is entirely up to preference. You can drop stuff like Chaos Fragment, stuff like Fellfire Haste, Imprison. There's a lot of utility options you can pick from here. So just pick whatever is the best or most useful for whatever you're doing at that moment. This is just kind of, I think, what I had for Mythic Plus, maybe, I don't remember. But really it can just go with whatever. As long as you're grabbing Fellblade, both these nodes, Hunt, Vigil Spite, Demonic, you're fine. Same with the middle tree here. There's only really one option to move, and that is going to be this one here, Keen Engagement, Preemptive Strike. Doesn't really matter. Keen Engagement's kind of the single target option. Preemptive Strike's kind of the AOE option. But realistically, neither of them do that much either way, so doesn't really matter which one you pick. Same with this one here, Arming into oneself. I would honestly not take with No Mover because you get less Fellblades. And Cripple Spirit's very, very strong, nice passive option. For the main build here, though, pretty straightforward stuff. Essence Breaks, Shattered Destiny, Cycle of Hatred, and the Glaive stuff is kind of the name of the game here. So realistically, every 20 seconds you have I-Beam, every 40 seconds you have Essence Break, trying to line those up the best you can, and you're just doing damage that way. A lot of I-Beam damage in this build because of Looks Can Kill, because of Blind Fury, because of Isolated Prey, because I-Beam deals 30% increased damage, which is quite a lot. And then you have all the Glaive stuff kind of support, right? Sorry, Glaive, Soul Scar, Extreme Brutality, Furious Throws, Accelerated Blade. So a lot of damage here. It's honestly not that bad of a tree. You are just missing the Initiative, Attack, Retreat, Fury, and Exergy and Inertia. Now you do run out of Fury in this build because you're not playing Attack, Retreat. So that does happen. Obviously, Blind Fury helps a lot. But if you ever are out of Fury, you can use Vengeful Retreat here. You don't have to, so it's No Mover. But it does give you a Fellblade because of Aldrachi Reaver here. If you're fighting a boss, a lot of adds, and Isolated Prey doesn't get much value. Think like Styx, Bunk Junker. That's just the only one off the top of my head. Then I would drop Isolated Prey for Initiative and just not Vengeful Retreat if you don't want to. Because just getting this on all the adds you hit is still very powerful. And obviously Isolated Prey only affects one target, right? Yeah, otherwise, you have your 20-second I-Beams from Cycle of Hatred. You have a lot of meta uptime because of Shattered Destiny. Lots of haste from Furious Gaze. Extreme Brutality will throw out Glaives for you, which is very, very powerful. Essence Break buffs up your Glaive damage, not your Glaive damage, your Blade Dance damage, your Chaos Strike damage. Chaos Disposition gives you a bunch of more mastery damage. So there's a lot of stuff working together very well here for the single target build. For AoE, now this is our actual best AoE build. This is the build a lot of people are playing. You're probably wondering, Voodoo, why is No Mover the best? Well, the real answer there is that realistically there's not a huge difference between Exergy and Inertia and this build. Inertia is probably a little bit higher damage if you get every single absolute optimization out of it, but this is just way easier to play. It's very consistent, which is really, really good, and deals a lot of high AoE damage with your I-Beams from both Blind Fury, Looks Can Kill, Cycle of Hatred, meaning you get twice as many I-Beams, and then all the Rage Fire stuff and the Immolation Aura stuff from Growing Inferno, and then you have a Fire Inside, which gives you Chaos damage now, which is so huge, and then Extreme Brutality, which works well with the Glaives for kind of medium pack single target damage. So this build here has so much consistent damage, so much priority damage as well. Obviously you don't have Essence Break. If you do want that, it's takeable. It's just really good, really consistent, really, really easy. Now with this build, you do want to Vengeful Retreat because you do have Initiative, but if you are here to be a pure No Mover, you do not need to do this. It's minor. You can get away with never pushing Vengeful Retreat if you don't want to, and just never moving. So While it is recommended because it does give you Fury and resets initiative, you don't ever actually have to do it. But lots of good stuff here, of course, right? Like Blind Fury, tons of damage. Looks and Kill gives you a ton of crit damage. Furious Gaze gives you lots of haste, which gives you more Infernos, more Death Sweeps. And all in all, strong consistent damage thing. You just like never holding things. You're always pushing buttons. Very, very good. So fun stuff there. Those are talent builds. Let's get right on to rotations. All right, everyone. So it's a different day. That's why my shirt's changed, but we're here with rotations. Now, rotations for no mover is obviously pretty straightforward. Realistically, outside of your opener is just use everything on cooldown. The only time things ever get weird is with I-Beam Essence Break, but really they line up pretty normally anyways, and you just kind of use things on cooldown. So we'll go over the opener, then we'll talk about a little bit like of rotation after that, then we'll do AOE stuff, and then we will talk about Reaver's Glaive, and that'll basically be it. So opener here, pretty straightforward. Before pull, you want to Immolation, Aura, and Sigil of Flame. Then you want to use your trinkets, any potions, so we'll use my trinket here. Hunt in, or our Reaver's Glaive, I-Beam, Annihilation, Essence Break, Death Sweep, Meta, Death Sweep, Annihilation, I-Beam, and then Sigil of Spite. And then at this point, we're just kind of into normal rotation. So normal rotation is going to be using everything on cooldown and using your glaive to try and keep up as much as you can the 10% damage buff. We'll go over that more in detail in the rotational section. We're going to keep extending this here just because I'm trying to show you guys rotation. But also I want to talk about what happens with the subsequent I-Beam and subsequent Essence Break, because we might get some weird stuff here because we are obviously not in Lust, which will cause some, a little bit of extension where things won't happen. But we're just going to I-Beam on cooldown there, hold this Death Sweep, and then just Essence Break on cooldown as long as you're in demon form, and then use your kind of 2 Annihilations after that. So from here, things will line up pretty naturally, actually. I-Beam and Essence Break are separated by 20 seconds, which is I-Beam's cooldown. So from here, you're really just using Sigil of Flame on CD, using Immolation Aura whenever you need to generate Fury, using I-Beam on cooldown, Death Sweep on cooldown, and just kind of filling in with Death Sweeps and filling in with Annihilations and everything like that. So really nothing too crazy. Just use Sigil of Spite on cooldown, Hunt on cooldown, use Essence Break whenever you're in demon form on cooldown as much as possible, use I-Beam on cooldown, Death Sweep on cooldown. Pretty straightforward stuff here. For the single target one. Really nothing else there, right? It's just you're playing this, you're just using I-Beam, using Essence Break, doing damage. Pretty straightforward stuff. So AOE, things are also pretty straightforward. So we do have Immolation Aura stuff here, so things will be a little bit different, nothing too crazy. So start off as you go into the pack with your Sigil of Flame, then pop your trinkets and stuff and hunt in. Throw out a Glaive, then you're going to Chaos Strike, Death Sweep, Blade Dance, then use 1 to 2 charges of Immolation Aura, use I-Beam, use Annihilation once there, Sigil of Spite, Death Sweep, Backflip, and Meta, Death Sweep again, Annihilation, and then I-Beam. And then really that's, again, kind of it. From here, we're going to just basically use everything on cooldown. Throwing glaives and AoE matters a lot less. You just want to throw them as you get them, basically. And you want to make sure you're always using Chaos Strike into Death Sweep, so never do Death Sweep first, which is basically true for everything in single target as well. And we're just using everything on cooldown. You do technically want to use Vengeful Retreat with Meta, because it does give you crit as well as some Fury, right, to get to the Fel Blade buff. You do kind of want to do that, but it's really not that big of a deal, and you really can just push all your buttons as they come up, which is pretty straightforward stuff, right? Not too rotationally complex, very similar to Demon Hunter of old, just trying to align or throw the fight buff with I-Beam and Immolation Aura when possible, and when it's not possible, c'est la vie. So that's the opener. That's a little bit of rotational stuff. Really nothing too crazy with that. So we'll do one more I-Beam just for folks at home. But yeah, it's really not too crazy. Boom, AOE, chill. All right, so the last thing is going to be talking about are the Glaive. Now you might have picked up what the correct usage for Reaver's Glaive is just during the 2 rotational sections, but we're going to spell it out here. Pretty straightforward. It's basically the only complexity that you have for low mover, but it's not too bad to grasp your head around. So starting with single target. So for single target, the order you do your things in does not matter. But what basically happens all the time, because Blade Dance has a cooldown and you're not really waiting for that, is that it almost always is we Chaos Strike first. The reasoning behind that is that, again, order doesn't matter, but also we have enough Glaives that you'll naturally get 2 stacks of Reaver's Mark anyways, and just generally speaking, the 12% damage bonus isn't that significant, especially because it requires you to wait for Blade Dance to be off CD first. It does happen from time to time where you'll throw a Reaver Glaive and Blade Dance will be off CD, so you push it first. But generally speaking, it's not something we look for. It's not something we go out of our way for. It just kind of happens. One of the big reasons why it doesn't matter is that this part right here, the bottom paragraph, is that the enhanced ability you cast first deals more damage, 10%. The second one is 20%. So getting 20% onto our Death Sweeps or Blade Dances is pretty big. But otherwise, our main goals in single target is to keep up the thrill of the fight 15% damage buff as much as we can. So you want to throw it when it's at like 4 or 3 seconds left. And then also to have Reaver's Mark up before we go into our Essence Break combos or I-Beam combos. Now, often what can happen is that you throw your Glaive before I-Beam. So you'll throw your Glaive, I guess here, I'll just hunt in, so I'll show you. You'll throw your Glaive out, then you'll Chaos Strike, then you'll I-Beam, and then with that Death Sweep, you'll proc your Thrill. Boom. Although with this build, the AOE build, it doesn't really matter the low mover build, it doesn't matter as much because I-Beam does so much more damage because of Blind Fury and Isolated Prey. So I really only do that with Essence Break, really. Sorry, things are on CD, so I can't change them. Oh no, I'm in combat. That's what it is. We'll wait till this drops off and I'll show you. Boom. So it really doesn't matter. You're kind of just throwing for thrill uptime. And then whenever you have Essence Break up, just making sure that, or I-Beam as well too, you just want to make sure you have some Reaver's Mark stacks on target. And sometimes proc in your Essence Break with the thing here. We don't have enough souls to show you again, but basically we'll just pretend like this is my normal Glaive. So if I have this here, be like, okay, we'll throw our normal Glaive or Reaver's Glaive, we'll Chaos Strike, then we'll I-Beam, and then we'll Essence Break, Death Sweep, and then this would proc Thrill. For AOE, it's even easier. AOE, the big thing is that we always want to do the Fear of the Aldrachi, which is another reason why Blade Dance second is so good, because you get 6 slashes of this. This is a lot of your damage in AOE, and this is a lot of your funnel in AOE for Wounded Quarry. Another reason why we want to use Chaos Strike first, because this allows us to actually funnel that physical damage, right? So in AOE, really it's just like throw your Glaive as you get them. Chaos Strike, Blade Dance, always. Never, ever, ever Blade Dance first in AOE. It's never worth it. And then in AOE as well, you want to try and have Thrill up for every I-Beam you do. So in AOE, instead of doing the stuff I showed you where you're procking Death Sweep off of after the I-Beam, we'll hunt in, make sure we have Fury, throw our Glaive out, Chaos Strike, Death Sweep, and then boom, I have my damage buff, I will I-Beam. And at this point, you know, if I get another one, so just get some more here. I get another one, okay, boom, I'll throw it out, Death Sweep, Chaos Strike, Blade Dance, boom, get some Immolation Auras. You get the idea. In AoE, you're just trying to make sure you have Thrill. You generate so many souls in AoE, and this talent here, Chaos Fragments, can also help you if you need more. So it's like I-Beam's coming up, okay, oh, there we go, that'll give me another Glaive, Chaos Strike, Blade Dance, use an Immolation Aura too here, and then just I-Beam. Pretty straightforward. Just make sure you have Reaver's Mark up before you do damage. Make sure you always do Reaver's Mark into Fear of the Aldrachi, then I-Beam. Sorry, Reaver's Mark, so Chaos Strike into Blade Dance, then I-Beam and AoE. Just making sure that that damage you deal is buffed and funneling, and then you're also buffing up your I-Beam with it. All right, so that is it for the no mover build. There really isn't a ton, right? It's pretty straightforward stuff. It's pretty simple, and it's actually fairly viable this season, which is really, really good. So if you're doing keys at all, this is the best key build. If you want a more in-depth Mythic Plus guide, you can go check that out. I did one. But this is also like a really good raid build if you don't want to care about the damage you're dealing. Well, you do care about damage you're dealing, but it is like 5% or so less. But on something like Rick Reverb, especially on Mythic, then this is the build you want to do. So it is good. It is viable. It's a lot closer than Fel Scarred. You notice Fel Scarred wasn't covered here because the Fel Scarred no mover builds are very bad. But you know, that's the one thing that'll Aldrachi Reaver. It does make no mover a lot better. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, best Mythic Plus build and really, really good for Mythic Rick Reverb, or if you just want a more chill experience in raid. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope this helped. If you have questions, obviously drop them below. Tons more Havoc content coming your way. So if you like this, like, comment, subscribe. Goose is getting on my back here, so we gotta end it off. But 15,000 subs at the end of the year is the goal. So I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you to Alexander Trifunovic, Rukaza, Fear Redefined, Loose Change, Jorge Polenko, Matthew Barr, Zuligan, Gabrielle Correa, Magic Man 133, Falafel Darren, Dark Terror. Thank you all so much for watching the videos and supporting the channel. Again, just thank you everybody for helping support. But if you want to support me a little extra, consider becoming a channel member. Have your voice read at the end of each video, as well as a little bit of a different role in the Discord. So again, thank you all so much. Appreciate you guys watching, liking, commenting, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.